of this very detailed but still quite rough drawing. You kind of like try to figure out the figures and kind of the details in their faces, but you cannot really make sense of it. So it kind of sets the beginning of a memory that you don't really know whether it's a memory or a dream. And goes into this kind of like layered like figure, kind of navigating through the dreams that seem to be quite desolate. There's no one in the space, and there's a lot of kind of like shadows and outlines of the doors that kind of feel quite welcoming, but also quite ominous at the same time, which is how I have my relationship with dreams in that way. It then kind of like moves into this kind of storyline of the color red, which kept coming up in the images that I chose. Whether it's anger, whether it's kind of I'm not sure what that color resonates with me, but it just kept coming up. And similarly, this kind of two-layered drawings and kind of the red going through them and kind of outlining them, disrupting the meaning of those dreams. It feels like the red keeps like intruding in each of the images. And kind of finally ending in this kind of like painting, which was called The Temptation of a Saint. I'm not sure the name of the saint per se, but this idea of temptation and kind of like thinking about how we're tempted by those dreams, or thinking about the inner like workings of the mind, and whether that's something that we need to uncover in the dreams that we just cannot really make sense of. And then there's an object which I kind of liked, but there's no meaning attached to it. It just felt quite nice in terms of like whether the object is something that's important or it can just be appreciated, right? So, and then this kind of, to me, it kind of felt like a constellation, like an eye. There was some conversations about this kind of like shape, and it was quite interesting in relation to all these ideas that we were talking about today, of like visualizing but also trying to like see through something that kind of really make sense of. And I just really thought it was a nice ending to that, in terms of like whether we can actually make sense or visualize the meanings of the dreams or the memories that we have, or whether that's something that it's okay that we cannot make sense of it. It can be just the feeling rather than the actual seeing of things. But that's mine.